From yesterday's video, I was asked the question about how do we live a clean life, ritually clean life, in an impure and dirty world. Can it even be done? Today's commentary is an attempt to answer that question. Hi, this is Barry Phelps of 2-Minute Torah, Day 5 of Tzaria Metzora, she who conceives seed, the unclean or afflicted one. And we are in Leviticus, chapter 15. We're going to go to verse 18. And the nature of this verse may raise an eyebrow, but again, it's the Torah. Don't panic. Don't be offended. Let's see what it's saying to us. Verse 18 says, "And when a woman lies with a man, and there is an emission of semen, they shall both bathe in water and be unclean until evening." This, of course, is discussing the act of intimacy between a man and his wife. And there is nothing dirty or sinful in regards to that, even though previous cultures and ages in the past it was frowned upon and thought to be something that you need to repent from every time you engaged in marital intimacy. The Torah teaches good family life, and it teaches a wholesome, loving, nurturing intimacy between a married couple. However, there is some ritual impurity that is to be embraced and dealt with as a result of this. Now, let's just back up a little bit. It is vital in regards to health conditions and sanitation in a wilderness setting among millions of people that certain protocols and teachings be understood and practiced. Obviously, you need to take your shovel and go outside the camp, and you do that for the entire number of years that you're in such a camp. You just simply can't have that situation in the middle of your living conditions. So that's just good practice. Otherwise, disease is going to wipe out a bunch of people. The same thing would then go for those things that are not taught about very much. While one with Sarat, who is then a Metzora, has this skin condition, they go outside the camp. It's all very public. Everybody understands so-and-so is not in their tent. They're away from their family, and it's because they're a Metzora. They're outside the camp. And, it's understood probably the reason why. When it comes to what we're discussing today, chapter 15 is more about bodily discharges. And you might initially say, ooh, and I understand that. But being human beings, we have issues. We have stuff. And the Torah teaches us then how to appropriately deal with even that which is not public knowledge. It's not dealt with publicly. It may not even be sinful. In this case, it's not. It's just a part of life that needs to be embraced and then ritually dealt with. Now, we all know this. A lot of folks, they're just nasty. You don't have to go very far out in public to know people don't take care of themselves. If you go into other people's homes, most often you will find them clean and appropriate. But there are times, and I've been there, where it's like, make your polite gestures, say your polite things, and let's go home. Let's get out of here. There are reasons why you don't lay on the bed covers of a bed in a hotel or walk barefoot on the carpet. It's just not advisable to do that. Why? Because, humanity is not always hygienically clean. In this situation, we're talking about a married couple. Well, the married bed is undefiled. But the marriage analogy only goes so far, because married or not, the intimate act produces some things that, well, you need to be clean. Otherwise, you can have some problems. Physically, you can have some problems. And so the Torah says, wash yourselves, wash your clothes, wash your body, and you are ritually unclean, not for a long period of time, until the sun goes down, until evening. Okay, that we can handle. That's not a problem. But the verse here is also teaching us something more, and that is about the bride of Messiah. Now, the bride of Messiah analogy only goes so far into the depths of human marital situations. The intimacy that we have with Messiah Yeshua is not exactly the same. We're not going there. Our intimacy with him is that of a spiritual nature, a spiritual union, not a physical one. And so Messiah and his assembly is a spiritual counterpart of this particular verse. It's holy, it's pure, but there's also a required washing. If we go over to the book of Ephesians, chapter number 5, many of you have read this verse many times. Verse 25 and following says, husbands, love your wives as Messiah also did love the assembly and gave himself for it, in order to set it apart and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, in order to present it to himself a splendid assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any of this sort, but that it might be set apart, it could be kadosh, and blameless. It is the washing of the water of the word that Messiah himself does for us, that cleanses us ritually. It makes us spiritually pure, clean, kadosh, set apart, no spot or wrinkle. So we also see in the book of Zechariah, chapter 14, it says in verse number 9, and Yahweh shall be sovereign over all of the earth, and in that day there shall be one Yahweh, and his name one. The result of that goes through various parts, but it goes to verse 20 and says, in that day set apart to Yahweh shall be engraved on the bells of the horses and the pots in the house of Yahweh shall be like the bowls before the slaughter place. And every pot in Jerusalem and Yehudah shall be set apart to Yahweh of hosts. And all those who slaughter shall come and take them and cook in them, and there shall no longer be a merchant in the house of Yahweh of hosts in that day. In that day, in the day of the kingdom, there's going to be cleansing and an elevation of all things to a higher status of being set apart. And so while we struggle in our current world with ritual impurity, we have eaten unclean flesh and didn't know it. We have been into funeral homes and so forth and in close proximity to the dead. We have become defiled very easily and even unknowingly by what is unclean. So what do? As far as ritual impurity goes, we're unclean. When the temple is rebuilt, the ashes of the red heifer are reestablished, mikvahs can be had, then we can go through the processes and be ritually clean again. But it is Messiah who makes us spiritually clean. The body has its issues. We wash it, we cleanse it, we do the best we can with it. But in Messiah, we are pure, and we are washed by the water of his word. Shabbat shalom to everyone, especially today. A note to those who are in foreign countries to the United States that are watching. Shabbat shalom to you in a very special way. May Yah elevate you, lift you up, fill your house, your home, your place with His presence. And we look forward to hearing from you. Please do drop a note. Until next week, Shabbat Shalom.